joining us. A lot has been said about ease of doing business in the context of the entire country. But now, after the new government took over, we are also talking about ease of doing business in terms of states. And Resurgent Rajasthan is one initiative through which the Rajasthan government is not only seeking to attract investments, but also talking to prospective investors about what they want to do in terms of having an easier business environment. We have a packed panel with us today. We have Sangeeta Prasad, who's from Mahindra Life Spaces. Then we have Mr. Dinesh Agarwal from India Mart. On my left, we have Abha Lamba, a prominent architect working in the field of restoration. And last but not the least, we also have Manish Sabharwal from Team Lease with us today to discuss about how Rajasthan can take forward its dream of having more investments. Start with Sangeeta Prasad. Ma'am, you have been associated with Rajasthan for quite some time now. How has the experience been till now, and going forward, what kind of a policy environment would you want to see from the Rajasthan government?
We entered the state of Rajasthan after we started our integrated industrial ecosystem in Chennai under the brand of Mahindra World City Chennai. And it was a serendipity event that Infosys, who was our customer in Chennai, said that we want to come to Rajasthan, but Mahindra World City has to come to Rajasthan. And that's when the public-private partnership with the government started, with Mahindra's and the Rajasthan government deciding to set up an integrated industrial ecosystem in the state. The experience has been, of course, a lot of challenges when you start something greenfield, something organic, but the very, very collaborative and symbiotic effort with the government and us to set up an ecosystem which looks at the customer need. So what do they look for? They look for access, they look for connectivity, they look for skills, and they look for the customer that is their market. And that's what we have been striving through our Mahindra World City ecosystem here in Rajasthan.
You know, governments give investors, and that is called a single window system. What has been your experience in Rajasthan regarding that? Does the single window system that is in place here is actually a one-stop shop for your permissions?
Because we are a partner with the Rajasthan Industrial Corporation here, our single window is RICO. So if we have to capture the market of B2B customers, the applicability of RICO as a partner becomes very relevant. So all our approvals, we use RICO as the window. That's the window which comes into play. But in the long run, the approval has not been a deterrent because of this collaborative effort.
We'll continue the discussion regarding ease of doing business, but let me quickly talk about another topic which many states actually, ignore in their quest for getting more investments, and that is regarding skills. Many industrial houses tell us that employability is an issue, be it any state, in terms of the output from such ITIs and all. Mr. Sabharwal, if you can tell us what all needs to be done to ensure that employability remains the core focus of the skill training development program that states like Rajasthan are carrying out.
I mean, you can't talk about skills without employment. So I think employability, education, and employment, the three E's are probably more closely related than we thought. So I think Rajasthan is the first sort of state which has put together an integrated program where you sort of do school reform. Rajasthan has just amended the Right to Education Act to sort of make it the Right to Learning Act. It's the first state which did labor law reform, which basically increases formal employment. It's now setting up a skill university. It's setting up an apprenticeship corporation. You're looking at third-party financing and skill vouchers. So I think the convergence between education, employment, and employability, which, we have a Ministry of Skills for the first time in Delhi, but Rajasthan already has a sort of department for skills, employment, and entrepreneurship. And I think Rajasthan, by putting employment, entrepreneurship, and skills together, has a much better shot than other states at solving the problem at scale, and also getting prepared for the investments and jobs which seem to be coming now.
Is there also a need to sensitize industries, especially MSMEs, regarding the reforms, especially on the labor sector, that gets carried out? What is your view on that?
I'm not sure whether, if you're saying people didn't know about what labor reform happened, the number of factory registrations doubled in the year before and after labor reform in Rajasthan. It's not only labor reform, there's an overall change in investment climate in Rajasthan. There's a sense of sort of destiny and destination among the investors in Rajasthan right now. So India has done more labor reform in the last 1 year than the 20 years. A, because you empowered states to do it, and B is because you also had demonstrated a will in Delhi. So my submission is there is no sort of national recipe for labor reform. Every state will look at its physical geography of work, its sectoral geography of work, its education geography of work, and its sort of enterprise geography of work, level of formalization, level of agriculture versus manufacturing. And I think that's the right thing to do. The challenge is not what needs to be done, the challenge is in who does it and how do you do it. And I think there's an innovation right now going on with states amending central laws.
Let me now get some comments regarding the SMEs, the backbone of the manufacturing sector. What is your suggestion for a state like Rajasthan when they want to encourage MSMEs? And how can they leverage technology to ensure that they have the best productivity-linked programs and at the same time also have access to a wide consumer base?
So we at IndiaMart deal with almost like 2 million SMEs on a monthly basis. Rajasthan comes at something like number 10 or so in terms of the states which are SME order of states. Now that itself is a challenge. It has to come up on the top 3, top 5 states. And despite the fact that some of the short-term problems that are there, that are plaguing the other states like UP, Bihar, even Maharashtra for that matter, such as power, roads. Rajasthan is way ahead in terms of road infrastructure and in terms of power infrastructure. However, when it comes to the employability of youth, I think Rajasthan is slightly below the national average. I think the education system needs to be brought up, and this is a very long-term problem to be solved. Girl education is still a very big issue to be solved. Health is still a very big issue to be solved. I think those are the very, very important ingredients for an MSMEs to function, because they would need either a white-collar labor or labor or blue-collar labor. Whatever way you think about it, they would need good workers. I think technology has to be used in every aspect of Rajasthan. Also, the education has to be used as every aspect.
Let's talk about leveraging strengths related to, let's say, logistics. Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, 60% of Rajasthan perhaps will come under this corridor. Do you think Rajasthan is ready to leverage the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor?
It is actually ironic that there are so many inherent strengths. So if you see the NCR region, which is getting populated or bursting at its seams, the real estate prices are shooting up, and Jaipur and Rajasthan virtually connects the north and the west of this country, both much more developed than what Rajasthan is today. The hardware infrastructure, as all of us have agreed, is good. Now, how do we use that to communicate to the customer segment, to the target audience, and use the influence? I know the DMIC development has been a trifle slower than it should have been, but how to leverage that and feel confident that that is the way the state can develop. I think the state has entrepreneurship in its blood. Education and entrepreneurship can combine together. And I felt, what could we do for these boys and girls? And then, Dinesh, I can assure you, technology is now available. It is how do we make it accessible, and how do these young boys and girls who are just striving to go use it to create products and services for the state.
Right. What we have seen when it comes to the industrial infrastructure of Rajasthan, a state like Rajasthan and a state like UP or a Haryana, is that most of it is concentrated around the NCR. Mr. Sabharwal, do you think that is it because of the available infrastructure or the availability of skilled labor that is influencing that? How does a state like Rajasthan ensure that there are other clusters also which can develop across Rajasthan so that there is a balanced growth in terms of industrial infrastructure?
Well, I mean, that's a mother nature question of do you take jobs to people or people to jobs? India only has 50 cities with more than 1 million people. China has 380 cities with more than 1 million people. India has 6 lakh villages. 2 lakh of those villages have less than 200 people. In political imagination, you're always taking jobs to people, but in reality, you're taking people to jobs. The policy priority of smart cities, the policy, we've got 4 in Rajasthan, and Ajmer is going to be an important one. Rajasthan only has